Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream here for some little bit of a day two report from training camp Frisco. It's Cabo time. This is serious as always. You know how we do it here, guys, because we're talking about the Cowboys. It's always serious business here. Die-hard fans. That's why you guys are here. So appreciate all you guys that are joining in here. Make sure you hit that bell for the notification so you do catch future live streams, especially during training camp and as the season progresses. All right, guys. So shout out to all you guys. I see everybody out in the chat room there. Appreciate you guys. So we're going to break down the notes. Basically, this is my cliff notes to everybody out there. We kind of break down the key topics of everything that came from today's morning practice. Okay, so lots of great stuff, really, particularly on the defensive side of the football, but we do have news on both sides. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the conversation for day two of camp at Frisco. Okay, I got a lot of news here. Once we cover through these, I'll get through some comments and questions as we get through this. But for the immediate, let's get into the discussion. All right, guys, let's do this. All right, so let's go ahead and break it up with some notes here from some of the beat writers. We got a lot of good topics here to discuss. Let's get into it. Okay. So right now we're looking at this note right here, and this is from Michael Gelkin. He covers the Cowboys, and he's talking about Mike McCarthy. We talked about this on day one. Blake Bell and Jarwin had a little bit of some drop issues there. But, with that, you do have more good news coming here from the tight end position. Mike McCarthy saying, I think Blake Jarwin is going to make a real impact on our offense. The ability to attack the middle of the field, okay, in my view, is always critical to the passing game. I've been so impressed with him and really the entire tight end group. Okay, so awesome news. You like to hear this from the horse's mouth, Mike McCarthy. So nothing to worry about. Obviously it's very early in camp, things like that. But to hear this type of praise coming early on from Coach Mike McCarthy, it's really good news. Okay, it's what you want to hear. So, Witten is gone. You saw Blake Jarwin. He had a little bit of a press conference afterwards. If you missed that, go replay that. Talks about how he really, Jason Witten has been getting some shade here from some other tight ends, some really no-name guys. I think Austin Hooper or one of these clowns. I forget which one it was, but Blake Jarwin pretty much, broke up that myth that, that Jason Witten didn't help these guys out. He, in fact, said that, no, he totally disagrees with those comments. He really helped, these guys come along, talking about Dalton and Blake Jarwin, obviously. So good to hear that from Blake Jarwin. It is his time now. He does acknowledge that. So he's ready to rock and roll. So good stuff there from Mike McCarthy on Blake Jarwin. Okay, so I like that. I like that very, very much. Okay, the other news here, guys, we do have some movement here on Everson Griffen. Okay, so we'll take a look at this here, and it's a corresponding deal here. So the Cowboys released Jalen Jelks today and officially signed Everson Griffen, okay, to a 1-year deal. We saw that base of 3. He can earn up to $6 million with incentives and that kind of thing. So they had to make a move, okay? We knew that. Who was it going to be? I believe somebody in the comments last stream actually mentioned Jalen Jelks. I think it might have been the Lunatic or one of these other guys that's always in here. Appreciate you guys in the chat room. I do see you guys. Appreciate everybody that's hopped on here. So Jalen Jelks is gone. You got to make that corresponding move. Everson Griffen is officially signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay. Now, as far as what number they're going to give him, we got that news that came out today as well. So good stuff. So he's going to play with number 96. Okay. Rob Phillips broke this news here. Griffen is expected to wear 96, and they already updated this on .com, DallasCowboys.com. You look at the team roster, he is number 96. So Everson Griffen wasn't able to finagle the number from Tristan Hill, which is fine. 96 is a really good defensive end number. I like the 90s. Obviously 53, 58. Some of these other defensive ends do have the 50s. I've always been one that prefers the 90s. So Let's get after it, guys. Let's get after it. Number 90 and 96. Let's go to work. Let's get after these guys. And obviously, Aldon Smith, he's looking really good in camp as well. So good news there on Everson Griffen. Signed, sealed, delivered, and the jersey number is 96 on Everson Griffen. Okay. Some more defensive news. Obviously, the thumbnail here has, Trevon Diggs is the thumbnail, and for good reason. We're going to take a look at this here, and basically we're taking a look at Trevon Diggs. So he's been having a pretty good camp so far, and he broke up a pass in camp here. A pass to Devin Smith. He almost pulled out the interception. So here's the aforementioned play on which cornerback Trevon Diggs broke on a deep pass like a receiver and narrowly intercepted the ball intended for Devin Smith. Okay. So it says he broke on a deep pass like a receiver. So if you remember, I think why Gelkin is saying this, why he broke on the pass like a receiver, because in the lab discussion that we had with Trevon Diggs in the offseason, we did discuss that Trevon Diggs, actually started as a wide receiver. So he has that mindset and those instincts as far as like kind of anticipating routes. And I think this is going to come into big play here for Trevon Diggs. So, I think that's well written by Mike Gelkin. Go follow him on Twitter. He's got really good news here intended for Devin Smith. So good stuff there. You like to see it. And you already heard a little bit of this even before this. So they like his length. Mike McCarthy has been giving him some praise here and there as well. But to see it in action in camp and read about it and hear positive news on the rookie is good news. All right. So good stuff there by Trevon Diggs breaking up a pass there. Those are the types of things that you do like to see. You'd like to see the positive news. Okay. Obviously, like I said, you take some of this with a grain of salt, but you like to see him making plays and not getting burnt. That's, what we like to hear. Okay. So good stuff there. More things here, talking defensively. We're getting some information here from Cheeto Awuzie. He had a post-player press conference and loaded with little nuggets. But the one that really stood out to me in his press conference was this. Okay. Mike Fisher's tweeting about this. In my opinion, Cheeto is accurate when he says the new look Cowboys defense, it's about pre-disguised looks. Last year, everybody knew what we were running. That's what Cheeto said. This defense is all about pre-disguised looks. Everybody knew what we were running. So in that press conference with Cheeto Awuzie, he expanded on that. He said that a lot of the times these guys weren't moving around. They were just, sitting there, didn't disguise anything, just sitting in the zone. So he really explained, it gives these quarterbacks a lot of time to diagnose how, okay, they're doing they got a safety over the top, cover 3, this kind of thing. Here's the zone. Here's where I can make a connection and move the chains. And we saw that from young quarterbacks that I don't think are even that good, like a Sam Darnold, these types of players, man, that were able to move the ball successfully, especially these young quarterbacks. You would have expected the defense to really go after the young quarterback and shatter their confidence. But this staff, really didn't do that. And I think this is a little bit what Cheeto is explaining here, So now he's saying they're going to disguise some things. It looks like they're going to move around a little bit more and, try to trick them. They'll be in formations to make the quarterback think they're going to be sitting in this and do this, but they're actually going to run something else. So I love that. I love to hear that from Cheeto. And they asked him if he was going to opt out. Cheeto said, no, this is a contract year, baby. So he had no intentions of sitting out or opting out. So this is a continuing theme that you're hearing from a lot of these players, that this is a big deal for these players as well. Lawrence came out and said it. Cheeto coming out here and said it. So, we have the core here. And we broke down, does this team have what it takes? Do they have a contender-ready roster? If you missed that video, go back and check that one out. But as you're seeing these things and everything that the Cowboys are doing and putting everything together, you are getting a little bit excited, right? If you're not getting excited by now, I don't know what to tell you. We don't want to get overly excited, obviously, but I mean, this is what you'd like to hear, right? So good stuff there from Cheeto Wuze and disguising the defense not being so predictable. Okay. And I think this goes for both sides of the ball, right? So the defense was predictable. We saw that. The offense was predictable. And I think this was a Jason Garrett thing. They wanted to execute the play and make the other team beat that play. And it didn't really work that well for the Cowboys for a lot of the times, so good to have a new regime in here. Good to have a head coach in here that actually knows what he's doing. Okay, and speaking of knowing what he's doing, Zach Martin had a comment, and I thought this was a key part of Zach Martin's player conference. Okay, so take a look at this. All right, this is interesting to me. I think this is very telling, and this is also from Michael Gelkin. Cowboys right guard Zach Martin said the tempo of practice is noticeably faster under Mike McCarthy than in previous years. Okay, so this is something else that you're kind of hearing from other players, that the practices are a lot more focused, and they're ready to. Mike McCarthy puts a lot more into the practice and being focused, it sounds like, and not that Garrett was that, but for your captain, one of your captains here in Zach Martin, to come out and say this, what he's noticed, this is a big thing. Okay, it may seem small for others or maybe other teams around the league, but when you have a new regime change and you are noticing these little changes, I think it makes a big difference in building that culture and making this team battle hardened and ready to go. We talked about last time, Mike McCarthy's got these guys in the morning, early in the morning, out here in the Texas heat, getting through the grind, getting mentally tough. You got to build that stamina, okay? And I think McCarthy's doing everything the right way, man. I love this. The tempo of the practice, really good. Take that into the ball game, okay? With McCarthy, we saw him execute up-tempo with the offense, and it really keeps your defense on its heels. And if you're conditioned that way, where you can execute and run this up-tempo more often than not, it makes you that much more better. And also for defense, you're keeping the defense conditioned, because if the offense is doing more up-tempo, the defense has to keep with it. And, it just everything is on the up and up here, This is serious business here with Mike McCarthy. He's not messing around. He's got a proven program, and we're seeing it. We're hearing it from the players. So I love that, man. I love that a lot. So we talked about that. We talked about Cheeto. Let's see what other information we have here. We got some news and notes here on Aldon Smith and some others. Let's take a look at this one here. This is really good information. This comes from .com. Okay. So let's take a look at this note right here, guys. So this is coming from Kyle Yeomans from DallasCowboys.com. If you're not following him on Twitter, hit him up. He's more of a new addition here. He's getting more time here on the Cowboys site. Does a great job reporting a lot of these camp reports. So let's break this down. He's saying the defense showed more movement and multiples today. So this is exactly what Cheeto Wuze talked about. They showed more movement. They're not stale. They're not just sitting there waiting for the offense to dissect them. So different multiple looks, moving around, keeping the offense guessing. Cheeto also said that an unnamed quarterback asked him, "Hey, what are you doing here? We don't know what alignment you're doing here." So one of these quarterbacks actually asked them. They couldn't read what they were doing. What the defense was giving them, was showing them. So that really was really great from Cheeto's press conference. Go check that one out if you missed it. But Kyle Yeomans further illustrating that comment from Cheeto, moving around, multiple looks. Okay, look at the next one here. Aldon Smith and Tank duo could be dangerous. You are hearing that Aldon Smith, with his one-on-one battles with Tyron Smith, he's looking good. He's beat him a couple of times. Of course, you're going to have the negative person that's saying, "Oh, no, Tyron Smith's getting beat, this and that." None of these guys are perfect. Even the Zach Martin will get beat here and there. Travis Frederick, obviously, in previous seasons. So I'm not concerned about that, but I do like that you are hearing, positive news from Aldon Smith. You're really not hearing about the rust. You're not really hearing about the ring rust. That's kind of what I heard. That really had me concerned about is how what kind of shape was going to look in. But I think with the program that he had, there with oh man, what is the guy's name from Fox? I forget his name, but that program where he was in shape, like kept him in shape, got him ready for the NFL and everything. So good deal there. It's going to be dangerous. I agree. And you're not even talking about Everson Griffen. So just this rotation is going to be insane. Okay. Let's look at the next point here. Both CeeDee Lamb, whose route running is breathtaking, and Aaron Parker. That's my pet cat, Aaron Parker, the wide receiver out of Rhode Island. He looked natural and fluid in the slot. Yes, let's rock and roll. That's my guy. That's my pet cat, Aaron Parker. So I like to see positive news everywhere, right? We all do. But when you have your little pet cat who's out here doing some things, trying to make a name for herself, I do like that. So great information there from Kyle Yeomans, DallasCowboys.com. Okay. Great stuff. So let's take a look at the next piece of information. All right. I had an interesting note here. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I have it here. Where was it? Let me see what I did with it. No, here it is. Okay. So let's discuss this one here real quick, guys. This is coming from Todd Archer. Okay. So he's got a little bit of an update, of a note that I think is of interest. Okay. So Todd Archer, with Lyle Collins and Brandon Knight working drills, because of undisclosed injuries, Wyatt Miller and Terrence Steele are getting more looks with groups they would not be expected to work with in normal circumstances. Cowboys might have to look for some O-line depth. Okay. Is this concerning yet? I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they do go out there and look at something. Cameron Irving, is not out there. That's another one that's not out there. And I'm not even a big fan of that. Some guy was trying to argue with me on Twitter about Cameron Irving. He's garbage, man. He's just not good, okay? Yeah, he played with the Chiefs, but he had a lot of penalties, holding, and this and that. He's just not good. So this, I wouldn't say this is a really big concern, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out here and do sign a vet, maybe somebody that McCarthy is familiar with. So keep an eye on that one there. Wyatt Miller does have, he looked good the other day, okay, but he's still raw. Terrence Steele, he's more of a practice squad guy, if we're being real. So let's keep an eye on that one there. So O-line depth, you got Lyle Collins, undisclosed injury. Mike McCarthy did say it was not serious, okay, so we'll see if it remains not serious. We don't know what it is. Is it conditioning? Is it one of his previous injuries flaring up? If you go back and look at Lyle Collins, what kind of limited him, or that kind of thing previous season? I think he had a toe. The last couple of seasons, I think a toe bugged him. I think he had a little bit of a knee sprain or something like that. So let's keep an eye on that. Is it a toe? Is it a knee? Is it the conditioning? We'll see what it is. But Mike McCarthy, I'm going to take his word for it. Not serious. Let's see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. All right. Let's see what else we got here, guys. Lots of great news to break down. I love it. Shout out to everybody out there in the chat box and everybody watching live. This is great stuff. Let's get to Jane Slater. She's always very good at breaking Cowboys information. She's there on site and she gives us a lot of great takes. So let's take a look at her notes. This is good stuff from Jane Slater, NFL.com. Let's break these three down. Let's go with the first one. Cowboys practice observations. Sean Lee and Lyle Collins on resistance cords to start practice. Okay. Sean Lee just a couple of light non-contract drills at half speed, but didn't see anything from Lyle Collins. So Lyle Collins on the resistance cords, that's fine. He is doing something, right? So a little bit of something. And Sean Lee is Sean Lee. I think he's getting that that vet rest, that him and Romo used to have over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, you remember those veteran days that some of these guys get. Let's look at the next one here. Aldon Smith was definitely giving Tyron Smith some trouble during team period. We kind of talked about that here just a little bit ago. So more good confirmation here that Aldon Smith is kind of picking up where he left off. All right. So he's got the good technique. He's got his coach back here with Jim Tomsula. We see him coaching these guys tough out there, and we're getting good reports from that. So Aldon Smith with his coach, it's a great combination. It's a good place for the Cowboys defense right now. It is revamped. If you think about this defensive line and a lot of the additions that they've done, like I said, Mike McCarthy's putting his thumbprint on this team on both sides of the ball. So good news. A little bit more here from Jane Slater on Trevon Diggs. Trevon Diggs also had a nice breakup when Dak Prescott tried to hit Devin Smith with a deep pass down the sideline. So we talked about that earlier. Trevon Diggs, digging into his wide receiver instincts, he knew where to be and broke up that pass. So, I like that, man. I do like that. So we'll see where Trevon Diggs lands here during the season. Will he be the day one starter, or are we looking more at one of these other players, Anthony Brown, Worley, one of these other players? Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I really don't see Trevon Diggs sitting on the bench as a backup for very long at all. I think he was a projected first-round guy that we got him in the second round. So the talent's there. He's showing it on the field, the ethic and everything there. That's what Mike McCarthy said. These players are talking about the practice ethic is different here with Mike McCarthy. What is practice ethic? I think it's putting your best foot forward on every rep. All right. I think that's exactly what he's talking about, practice ethic. We're not going around here doing half speed, half ass, reps. This is I just love what the Cowboys are doing here under Mike McCarthy. It's just great news all around. Okay. Take a look at this picture here. And this is really a little bit of what I talked about in my video from yesterday, talking about, Jaylon Smith and how they're going to actually utilize him here with the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy brought in a coach he's familiar here with, Mike Nolan, okay, your defensive coordinator, but his background in linebackers, like I said in my video from last night, is well documented, okay? I'm not saying that Jaylon Smith's going to be an every down pass rusher, but he's got those instincts, like I said. And here's Mike Nolan, working with him one-on-one. So you like to see this. McSorley is the linebacker coach, but to see, defensive coordinator working right there with Jaylon Smith, it's a good thing here. Okay. So I do like that. I do expect the Cowboys to use them more in some pass rushing situations. You can bring on Sean Lee and Leighton Vander Esch, and you can move Jaylon Smith all around. You can, put him on the edge, on the left, on the right. Who are you going to block? As an offense, it's a very scary concept. Okay, and then not only the pass rushing, but like I said, with our bigger guys in the middle, that's going to allow Jaylon Smith to utilize that speed that he has. He's maybe the fastest linebacker on the team right now, so he can hit those gaps with ferocity, like I said. And, they're going to keep this defense, fresh. I do love that. I do love that. So let's look at another note here, guys. And this is coming from DallasCowboys.com. Kind of actually, it expands on what we're talking about here with Jaylon Smith. So take a look at the notes here from DallasCowboys.com. This is coming from Rob Phillips and Dave Hellman. So take a look at the notes here. In particular, this first one here. Okay. Look at this. It's not uncommon for the offense to take a little more time to find rhythm in camp. While it's very early, the second practice was an active day for the defense. Okay, and here we go. Jaylon Smith, in particular, showed his range throughout. Exactly what I talked about last night, what we're talking about today. First, he broke up a pass for Dak Prescott in the flat intended for Tony Pollard. Then in team drills, Smith busted through the gap to stop the pass for Ezekiel. And so Exactly what I'm talking about. This is what Mike Nolan is going to do with Jaylon Smith. Okay, it's just something that I thought about over the last couple of weeks. That's why I made that video about Jaylon Smith. He did this at Notre Dame. You got the big guys now in Dallas, and it'll let him be that Jaylon Smith from Notre Dame. Okay, so I love it. Let's look at the second item here. Aside from getting their hands on the ball, the secondary seemed to enjoy a generally productive day. Prescott went 6 of 8 on the primary 7-on-7 throwing period, but the vast majority of those balls were check downs to backs and tight ends. During the full team period, neither Prescott nor Andy Dalton were able to complete their long shots down the field. Okay, so this is good information. This is good for the defense, really, and not really anything bad about the offense, but you do like to hear these types of reports early on, especially. Okay, and then they close it out here with some of the Cheeto. The cornerbacks had at least 2 interceptions at first glance, one from Cheeto and 7-on-7 drills against Ben DiNucci. Ben DiNucci is wearing number 7. If you're looking at some of the video that we're able to scrounge from Dallas Cowboys, he's number 7. Okay, so if you're looking at the numbers, number 5 is what is his name? Number 5 is Mick. What is his name? I forget his name, but number 7 is DiNucci. Okay. Another by Anthony Brown on a deep ball from Dalton, intended for Michael Gallup. We're getting to the ball, so that's always good, Awuzie said after a conference call. So moving around, going after the ball, and getting after these passes. So this is something that you'd like to see. This is great news, guys. So really good information coming from these practices and from the player post conferences. If you get a chance, go check those out. You know, we had one from Cheeto today. We had one from Zach Martin and Blake Jarwin. All 3 really good nuggets. We covered a lot of them here, but you do like to hear these things here with Jaylon Smith, like we talked about in my video last night, and you're hearing it actually being executed now. So that's great. You know, this defense is going to come after quarterbacks. The days of letting the quarterback just sit there and dissect and dictate what they're going to do, those days are over. Like I said, these guys, we're going to dictate what you're going to do to us. Okay? We're going to dictate it, not the other way around. Under Garrett, these offenses and defenses, they dictated a lot of this. And that's not what Mike McCarthy's about. Mike McCarthy's like, no, man, we're gonna dictate the pace. We're gonna dictate what we're gonna give you guys, and we're gonna get after it. So great information here from day 2 camp. Let's take a look at some of the comments here in the chat box. Take a look and see what we got here. Tavis Banks. Where is Shaywo? Okay, so Shaywo is number 45. Okay, if you look at some of this, he is listed as the fullback, so they have made that completely official. So Shaywo, he is out there in the mix with fullbacks. The competition behind them, we'll see who else they have in there. But for Mike McCarthy, he said that the looks are going to be multiple as well, coming out of the backfield, whether that's Shaywo at fullback or a halfback look with a Dalton Schultz coming out of the backfield, blocking for Zeke, coming out and making a catch in the flat. So they're going to keep it fresh there in the backfield with these types of looks. So I'm excited about that. And we are hearing that Tony Pollard is making a lot of these plays out of the backfield as well, catching the ball more. I think they're going to use him a lot more. So appreciate that. Appreciate that, Tavis. Let's see what else we got here. McCarthy showing how to build a team. Exactly. This is what you like to see. This is no more guessing game, no more learning on the job, right? You felt like under Garrett that it was learning on the job for almost a decade, okay? Especially when it came to the little nuances of the game, situational football. It always seemed like a big challenge for the Cowboys, but with McCarthy, you have a winning formula. He knows what the league is about and what they're going to do. So, yeah. Let's see what we got here. What else you got in the questions? Shoot me some questions, guys. Colton Kinnaman, I appreciate you. I subscribe. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. What else we got in here? I'll take a look at some more comments and ask. You got any questions in here? We'll see what you got. Have y'all seen the video of Darius Slay being cooked by Deshaun Jackson? I did see that, and I love it. But like anything else in camp, you do have to take some of these with a grain of salt. But for Eagles, I think that's a little bit of a concern. Did he get the money and just chill out? Sometimes these guys, they get paid and they kind of just they kind of go into cruise control. So is Darius Slay going to be a cruise control player, or is he going to step up when the season starts? We'll see. But who cares about the Eagles, right? Forget about those guys there. What else we got here? Okay, we just talked about Slay there. Situational football. How the safety dues? We didn't get too much news here from the safeties. We did hear more about it, obviously, for day one. But yeah, they're keeping it in the mix as well. Everybody's getting their shot at it. Darian Thompson, Clinton Dix is out there, obviously. Luther, the undrafted rookie, he's getting his reps as well. But behind these starters, Xavier Woods, these guys. So they're coming along, and they're coming along with the rest of this. With the rest of the secondary. I heard Trevon already looking like a cornerback one. So yeah, he's definitely, getting some good praise from the coaches and executing it on the field and backing it up. Okay, so you do like to hear that early on. It probably won't be long before he's getting full-time reps. We'll see. They're giving a lot of these players a look. They gave Anthony Brown first look at it. And then you're getting more of Trevon Diggs now breaking up passes. I mean, Anthony Brown had an interception as well, and Trevon Diggs breaking up passes. So, are you already I think we're already seeing the effect of the regime change on the secondary. Talking about Al Harris, and not to say that these secondary players weren't doing this last camp, because we did hear reports of this and that they were doing similar things, but not as much early on, especially. So I like the fire. I like that these players are out here, doing their thing. Ricardo Mena, I subbed up. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. What is up with Zeke? Zeke is doing his thing there. He's tip-top shape. I don't know if you've seen him, but he looks lean. He looks strong. He's out there with the gold visor, just running all over the place, doing his thing. Nothing to worry about there on him. Let's see what you got here. Connor Williams winning the battle. Connors, it's early. We'll see. They're getting a look there. As far as I know, from day one, Connor Williams wasn't even out there. So we'll see. Okay. Yeah, I think it was Thorson, right? Clayton Thorson or Thorson. I think he's the number 5 there. LVE is looking good so far, playing with strength, hitting the bags really well. So we're not really seeing anything as far as the neck giving him any restrictions or anything like that. Now, the pads are coming on. Okay, Monday, pad time, baby. So we'll see, man. When the pads come on, it's a little bit of a different story. You get a little bit more of an intensity. August 30th. That's going to be the scrimmage game, the blue-white scrimmage. I think there's going to be a lot more emphasis on that scrimmage game, than past seasons, because the scrimmage game is going to almost act as they're going to want to execute it as if it's a preseason game, because there are no preseason games. That all got canceled. So that blue-white scrimmage, I think, is going to be an important piece of training camp. So LV, he is looking good. Now, let's see how he looks when the pads come on and these guys start hitting each other. Okay, that's going to be the telling deal there. Now, let's hope nobody gets injured from it. All right. Let's see what you got here. Got a question here. How concerned should we be about Cooper's production going into the season? Was it Cooper's heart or him being hurt last year? Seemed like he only had production at home. I'm not worried about Amari Cooper whatsoever. In fact, I'm excited about him in this offense, what they're going to do, moving him around. Okay. That's what they're going to do. They talked about CeeDee Lamb looking really good, looking sharp with the route running. And, They can put him on the outside. They could move in Amari Cooper on the inside. They're just gonna feast. All of these guys, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb. I'm not worried about it at all. I think it was more of just the season. There's a lot of finger pointing, and I think that a lot of these players were semi checked out. And just, the last season just wasn't good. But we're moved on. We're here in 2020, new coach, new regime. Robbie Radford, are you thinking Griffen over Aldon? I think that's to me, I think that's what they're going to do. I think it's going to be DeMarcus Lawrence, and it's going to be Everson Griffen, and you're going to have Aldon Smith as a situational pass rusher, your designated pass rusher, pin the ears back and go to work, okay? And Everson Griffen still gives you that pass rush, so I don't think it even matters as far as who starts there. I do think that they like Griffen's ability to run a little bit more than Aldon Smith. Not that Aldon Smith can't play the run, but he is really your ace when it comes to pass rushing the quarterback, right? Is Aldon Smith. And if he's in shape 100%, he'll get his reps, But Everson Griffen, well-rounded. He was a captain there at Minnesota. And he's getting a lot of praise from former teammates, former coaches. Our senior defensive assistant, Coach George Edwards, he's on our staff. He knows the player intimately. So I think they brought him in here with, that expectation that he's going to elevate the room, the defensive line room. He's going to bring a little bit of swagger, some edge. We already saw that when he first spoke to us as fans without a single blink. He looked kind of crazy, but you got to have these edge players that have edge, that have a little bit of something to them. You can't have a bunch of choir boys, right? So I think Everson Griffen is a really great addition to this defense, and I'm excited about it. So great question, Monty. Appreciate that. Asmondos, what do you think about acquiring Eric Reid? I don't think the Cowboys are going to bring in Eric Reid. Not that, you never know. We didn't really see them, were they really going to bring in Everson Griffen? We really didn't know. Are they behind the scenes maybe thinking about Eric Reid? Who knows? I'm not going to say yes or no, but, he's a good player. He's shown that he can play in this league and very productive. But there's a little bit of a history there with the league and these kinds of things, So we'll see. But as far as on the field and that kind of thing, great player, man. I wouldn't mind having him in the mix. But we'll see what the Cowboys do. That cap is getting a little bit, zapped with a lot of these additions. So I'm not sure we have too much more room to make any other big splashes. And that offensive line, I think I wouldn't mind getting another offensive line here to shore up that depth. All right. So I'm kind of looking more at offensive line rather than safety right now. If you're asking me about adding another player, I'm kind of looking at offensive line. We're getting a little bit too dinged up there. It is. I'm not hitting the alarm yet, but let's keep an eye on it. CeeDee Lamb has so much speed. Do you think we might use him for trick plays? Yeah, so definitely if you're looking for trick plays and that kind of thing, I'm not sure I would really call it a trick play, but maybe these plays that keep a team off balance, maybe like a reverse, these kinds of things, because CeeDee Lamb, with the ball in his hand, he's hard to catch. He's elusive. He's really elusive. I like him after the catch more than Jerry Jeudy. Okay. Jerry Jeudy, I think, has better feet. The route running it's still pretty close. You could go 1A, CeeDee Lamb, 1B, Jerry Jeudy, or vice versa. I think they're pretty similar. But after the catch, when you got the ball in your hand and you're running, CeeDee Lamb all day. So if you can get the ball to him with a bubble screen, I think you will see more of that with CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. Let's not forget about Tony Pollard. So these players that are hard to tackle in an open space, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Tony Pollard, they're going to have these plays for these guys, designed for them. So I'm excited about that. So that's a great question. A lot more physical, yes. This, and Garrett did talk about, they want to be more physical. They said that we're gonna be a physical team, but when it came to game day, you really never saw it. Sometimes you would with the offensive line, but as a whole team, you heard it, but you didn't really buy it. I feel like with McCarthy in the mix here, and the things that you're already hearing from the players, I think we are going to be more physical. He likes that physical type of player. He likes the blue collar type of worker, like a Zach Martin. I think he sees Zach Martin as that type of player. Probably why they drafted a Tyler Biadasz. These types of player, Everson Griffen. These guys, okay, they just go after and they put their best foot forward. Okay. Let's see how we go here. How is the quarterback we picked up in the draft doing? So what I've heard so far here from Ben DiNucci, that he has a really good arm and he's been pretty accurate for the most part. Now, we did see him throw an interception here that Anthony Brown picked off from him, but for the most part in the drills, he's looking good. How many snaps is he going to get, though? You got to believe in this new scheme, new offense. Although it is a lot of of the similarity with Kellen Moore, they did mention that there is that added mix of Mike McCarthy. So you got to get a lot of these reps for your main players, which is going to be Dak Prescott, obviously, and Andy Dalton for sure. So we'll see what Ben DiNucci is able to do. Do they carry him as a third quarterback, or are they able to sneak him on the practice squad? We'll keep an eye on that one there. But so far, so good, on him. Yeah, Leighton Vander Esch looking good so far. Looking good. Looking powerful out there. We just talked about DiNucci. Let's see what you got here. Will it be televised? Okay, so I'm thinking, Baldo, I think you're talking about the blue-white scrimmage, right? It won't be televised, but I'm pretty sure it will be streamed on DallasCowboys.com. That's what they've been doing the last couple of times. And they do a pretty good job for the most part, But you do have to catch it live. And they do run it as a replay. So that's going to be fun to watch. I don't expect them to lay out the full-blown playbook either. It's going to be a little bit vanilla, But it is going to have more emphasis this season than in other years, You want to get a look at some of these players, especially some of the younger guys. I don't really expect your vets to be out there that long at all. You might get a few series out of them, and then let's bring in the backups and take a look and see if we need to shore it up. If you got some of these young players in here that aren't really where you want them to be, then you're going to look at the waiver wire. And when the cuts start coming, and you start to – Will McClay always talks about having a list ready to go, okay? So you can best believe that Will McClay already has a list of potential players, offensive linemen especially right now, right? And anywhere else where you might feel a little bit light, but right now I would say offensive line. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, it'll be on DallasCowboys.com, Baldo. Appreciate the question. Let's see what else we got here, guys. I'll get to a few more here before we go a little long, but appreciate everybody that has hopped on here on the live stream. Appreciate all you guys, man. This is outstanding. I hope you guys like this. I'll try to do more of these as the week goes by, definitely give you the latest reports and the key parts. These are like cliff notes for me, growing up to school, you didn't really want to read the Iliad, the whole book. Give me the cliff notes. Let me see the important part of this. That's what I want to do for you guys. So I hope this has been very informative to you guys. Do appreciate that. I am going through as much of these as I can. So you guys are knocking it out the park in the chat box. Love the shirt. Yeah, man, this shirt, I got it from LVE. He has a website, and I haven't been to it in a while, but this is his gear. Fear the Wolf Hunter. Okay, so hopefully he'll be 100%, man. Is he going to play full without, playing not to get injured? So we'll see if that affects his playing at all. So Joe McCarthy, you ain't blinking. Yeah, I'm focused, man. I'm focused. Maybe I'm not blinking. I don't know, man. I have no idea, but maybe I have a little bit of that crazy edge to me, like Everson Griffen. Man, watch out. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm just kidding. No, let's not talk about politics. No, we're not doing that. This is football, baby. This is football. Do you think? Here's one here. This is an interesting one. So you got, somebody asked about Eric Reed earlier. Logan Ryan, he is still available, and he's actually mentioned that he sees himself as a safety, not a cornerback. So what is he asking? What's the asking price? Do the Cowboys have enough in the bank to even bring him in here? Where is safety as far as their, list of priorities? We know the Cowboys so far, the priority hasn't been high. Even right now, it doesn't seem so high. They got Clinton Dix on the cheap, but they still have yet to invest a high draft pick or, make a big splash, really. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. Neville Gallimore, haven't really heard much on him yet, which is not a bad thing, but nothing yet. You are hearing good news about Tristan Hill, though. Now that I do love that. I do like to hear that. So hopefully this is more of a coaching thing, right? Maybe this is Jim Tomsula. Like I said, I think the addition of Jim Tomsula has been a godsend for this team. He knows how to coach up, maybe these types of players like Aldon Smith. Maybe there's something there with Tristan Hill that he needs a different type of coach. Jim Tomsula might be what the doctor ordered. Okay, so you like to hear the good news on Tristan Hill early on. Can that be attributed to the coaching change with Jim Tomsula? It very well could be. And if that's the case, let's go, man. You got to root for these guys, right? You got to root for him. He's a second-round pick. You don't want to just kick him to the curb and be like, he didn't do anything because of last year. I'm about giving these guys another opportunity. And so far, you're hearing good things about it. So that's good. That's very good, guys. Cowboys Execution, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining the stream here. Ronan the Voice, appreciate you guys. Cameron Thomas, make sure you guys hit like on this if you're catching it live or on the replay. It really helps out the channel a lot. It really helps me do a lot of these upgrades. I'm getting a lot of great feedback from you guys on the upgrades, and it's been to you guys. If I don't have the views and everything, the likes and this kind of thing, it'll take a little bit longer, but you guys have really shown the love, and the growth of the channel is attributed to you guys, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. All right. Yeah, I did hear about that. Tristan Hill Connors got in a little bit of a fluff, so you do like to hear a little bit about this. Obviously, you don't want to hear about it every single day, but you do like to hear that these guys are getting into it. They're getting nasty, especially from your defensive linemen, right? You do want to see some of this. Connor Williams, he probably didn't want to get shown up by the second-year player, right? And vice versa. The young cat there with Tristan Hill, he's trying to show what he's got. He's trying to show his chops. Does he have the chops to be in the mix? So far, so good. I like it. I like that. Yeah, they really did get into it. They really got into a little bit of a fluff there. Okay. Let's see. More aggressive Tristan Hill, yeah. Okay, so this is a low-key great addition as well. We did hear that Mike McCarthy has added Seneca Wallace, former quarterback. He played under Mike McCarthy at Green Bay, also played for the Seahawks as well. So more of a mobile type of quarterback. He'll be in that room, in that quarterback room, assisting as well. So great addition. We'll see how that goes, but that was a little bit of news that came out as well. So that's good as well. All right, guys. But that's it, guys. I think that's where we'll cut it right now. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for the love. Thank you, everybody. New members, Cowboys fan, shout out. Cowboys fan 421. Thank you for signing up, buddy. I appreciate you. And that's it, guys. Continue to like this video. Hit like if you haven't already. Before you head out, hit like on this video. If you catch it on the replay, hit like. Make sure you subscribe. Hit that bell notification down here. And come back for the next live broadcast. For tomorrow, it might be a little bit later in the afternoon, but these are fun. I love to cover the topics of the day, the key points, and it's good to get it out there with you guys. I appreciated it. So, but that's it, guys. I'll catch all of you guys for the next one. See you guys soon. Peace, everybody.